I'm Marin, and this is Post-its and Pens. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin, and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. Today's video is going to be my June TBR featuring my books for the WhateverAthon or Whatever You Want-a-thon hosted by Maddie over at Book Browsing Blog. So let's go ahead and get into the video. To start off, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you that May was a very, very good reading month for me. I actually have already completed all of the books from my May TBR. I have one book left, which is this one right here. It is the 5th Nancy Drew book, The Secret of Shadow Ranch, which I started last night, and I'm probably going to finish it today because it is quite short and they read very, very fast. So this will completely tick off every book that I was hoping to read in May. So much better than I did in April, because April was not a great reading month. So since I know some of you are probably only here for the Wheel of TBR part and not necessarily the WhateverAthon part or vice versa, I am going to put timestamps down below. So if you are not interested in seeing the WhateverAthon information, I'm going to put that at the end. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to do my 5 spins per the usual. Now, I was not deleting prompts off the wheel once I hit them. However, I'm going to start doing that. So each month I will start with the full wheel of prompts. And if you are curious about the prompts for my Wheel of TBR, I will link January's video up above because that goes over every single pie slice on my wheel. But starting this month, I am going to remove them from the wheel to hopefully get a little bit more of a variety of prompts, because there are some that I've not hit yet this year, and we've already done this 5 times. So just trying to change it up a tiny bit. So for WhateverAthon, I do have a list of books that I am hoping to read because they fit the bingo board. But again, we'll put that at the end. Right now, we're gonna go ahead and just dive on into the spins. So here is spin number 1. Okay, spin number 1 got me mystery. This is perfect. One of the prompts is to read like a summer thriller, so I'm classing like mystery and thriller as the same thing. So let me see what I want to do for that, and I will come back and tell you. Okay, pick number 1 is mystery. Again, I'm leaning more into like the thriller aspect of mystery. You know, we're going with it. And that is going to be Verity by Colleen Hoover. Now this does fit some of the prompts for WhateverAthon. Again, I will go into that later, but yes, that will be book number 1. All right, spin number 2. Okay, spin number 2 gave me novella. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm gonna pick. Let me grab the screenshot and I will come back to you. Number 2 is novella, as you just saw. And for this one, I am actually going to go with A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is another book that will fit some WhateverAthon prompts. You're gonna notice a theme. So this is one we're gonna go for that. All right, spin number 3. Okay, number 3 is sci-fi. I don't read a ton of sci-fi, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. So let me see what I'm gonna do. Okay, number 3 was sci-fi, and as I mentioned, I do not read a lot of sci-fi. I actually don't even have a lot of sci-fi like on my Kindle or my shelves, so I had to do some digging, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with a book that has been on my Kindle for probably over a decade, and that is For Darkness Shows the Stars by Diana Peterfreund. Freund, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. This one I think I had as like an e-galley back in the day. So it's been around for a while, and now's the time that we're finally gonna get it read. Okay, spin number 4. Okay, graphic novel. Definitely a nice addition because graphic novels are always good for a readathon. So let me see what I'm gonna do. Now, number 4, graphic novel. I cannot actually pick this one yet because I am using this as my poll pick for WhateverAthon. I'm gonna put like a little image right here of my tweet with the polls. So I went with 4 emojis. They represent 4 different books. I put it on my Twitter and my Instagram, and I'm going to like tally it all up and total it all up. So editing me will come in and put the picture of the book that I'm gonna read for graphic novel right here after those polls close. So there you go. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I have a graphic novel that I'm definitely gonna read because it's one of the 4 choices. Okay, and the final spin, spin number 5. Okay, on my Kindle, definitely doable. Let me see which book I'm gonna go with. All right, and the final spin was on my Kindle. I am going with another one that has been on my Kindle for a decade, probably. And that is Easy by Tammara Weber, or Tammara Weber. I don't know how to say her first name, sorry. Again, been on my Kindle for a really long time. It's time to finally get it read. So we're going with that one. Okay, now before I get into the WhateverAthon stuff, I'm going to talk about some additional books that I need to or have to read in June. So the first one is going to be the next Nancy Drew book. This is Nancy Drew, The Secret of Redgate Farm. This is book number 6, and since I'm reading a Nancy Drew book each month, this is the next one up. So this one is definitely going to get read, and it's nice and short, so you know, no worries there. Then I have a goal to read some like teacher professional development type books over the summer. So I've already started reading Other People's Children, Cultural Conflict in the Classroom by Lisa Delpit. This was recommended to me by a coworker who read it years ago and it really made an impact on her. So I went ahead and picked this one up used, and I'm not very far. I like literally just started it. So, you know, we're not very far into it, but this one has 198 pages. So I'm hoping I can get this one read decently quickly, possibly this week, because I also want to read Shifting the Balance, 6 Ways to Bring the Science of Reading into a Balanced Literacy Classroom by Jan Burkins and Kari Yates. It looks like this. I just got this one in the mail a couple days ago. So this is another one that I'm wanting to get to this month. I am really going to try to bring a little bit more of the science of reading into my room this year. And this book basically tells you how you can like fit it in around like district mandated curriculum. So want to give this one a read. So those 2 teacher books, Nancy Drew, and I'm probably going to have another one as well if I can't get it to fit on my WhateverAthon TBR. So here we go. Now, let's go ahead and dive into WhateverAthon. So if you are not interested in that, you can stop watching right here, but I would love for you to stick around through the whole video, just saying. But yes, so here we go. Now, I I am going to be part of Team Beach Readers for this readathon. So it has its own bingo board, which I'm putting right here. This is a fairly complicated readathon in terms of how you can earn points and things. So I am simply going to link Maddie's like introduction video down below in the description box. If you are interested in participating, check that out because she goes over literally everything. I'm just going to be covering the Team Beach Readers bingo board and telling you which books I'm going to read for which prompt. So this part's going to be kind of long. I'm going to try to go fast, but here we go. So starting off, we have a book that is classed as a dark romance. This is not something I really read at all, but for this, I am going to read Verity by Colleen Hoover, which is on my wheel of TBR. This one is also going to work for a few other prompts. So I am going to also read this for summer thriller, and I'm going to read this for possibly one-word title. We'll see. Like it will qualify for one-word title. But yes, dark romance and summer thriller are the two on the board that one's going to cover. So, you know, two birds with one stone, etc. The next one is a book that has like an article in the title. So the, an, of, a, or and for that one I am going to read Smoke and Iron by Rachel Caine. This is the fourth book in her Great Library series. This is on my 22 series to finish in 2022 video, and I need to read book 4 and 5. So I need to go ahead and like start getting to it. Now, Smoke and Iron is also going to serve a few other prompts. So it's going to count as a political fantasy, and it's going to count as continue a series. So again, 3 prompts, 1 book. That's a good because I have some additional books that I was not planning on reading on this TBR, so gotta make it work. The next one is under 300 pages. Now, there are a couple of things that I could use for this. So possibly whatever graphic novel wins my poll might work for this. I could also do a Psalm for the Wild Built, which will work for this. But the one that I think I'm actually going to read is We Were Liars by Lockhart. This will be a reread for me. I have read this already, but I wanted to reread it because the prequel, Family of Liars, just came out. This book has 225 pages, so definitely under 300. I know that it's a pretty quick read, so there you go. My under 300 pages book that I'm actually going to put on the TBR. Next up, we have a book that was recently hauled, and for this one, I am going with my most recent book of the month book, which is Yerba Buena by LaCour. I read Everything Leads to You, which I believe was her YA debut earlier in the year. Loved it. So when this one popped up on Book of the Month, I went ahead and picked it up. I'm excited to read it. I really don't know much about it except that it's by LaCour. I think it's, is it her adult debut, possibly? Not sure, but I'm excited to read it. And I believe it's going to be LGBTQIA+, because her books typically are. So yeah, this will be my pick for recently hauled. Okay, the next prompt, or the next bingo board square, says blank color on the cover. So I'm actually going to just randomly generate a color right now, and we'll pick a book that goes along with it. I'm really hopeful that it will work for one of these other books that are already on my TBR, because June is not your typical teacher on summer break month for me. I'm taking a 2-week course to get my STEM certificate, and I'm traveling for a week at the end of the month. So this could be interesting, but we're just gonna see what comes up. So let me pull it up and we'll cross our fingers that it works out for something I'm already planning on reading. So it came up with yellow just on its own, but we're gonna randomly generate 3 colors just to make sure it's random. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, can you see that? This is like a teal, y'all. We're in luck. Look at this. So this teal color is right here on this picture. Yeah, that's perfect. So random color, it is 00FDBF, whatever color that is. I will put a screenshot of the color right here, and we're going to go with Yerba Buena. This is perfect because it's this same exact color right here. Hooray, it worked out. Okay, the next bingo board prompt is on a previous TBR. I am going to go with Paranormalcy by Kiersten White. This was on my April TBR and I did not get to it, but I got like a couple chapters in and it was like, seeming like a quick read. I'm curious to see what I think about it because this is part of a series, so this will determine whether I want to continue with the series or not. So there you go, on a previous TBR. Okay, next one is Summer Thriller. We already talked about that. I'm going to go with Verity. However, there is another book that I need to read for the Literally Dead book club, which is Hide by Kiersten White. So I could have two books by the same author on this TBR, but here's the cover of that. So this would also work for that. You can do prompts more than one time, but you can't count them towards more than one bingo at a time, if that makes sense. Again, the rules are all in that introduction video, but that's the general gist. So there we go, Summer Thriller, Verity. Now, the next square is favorite genre, and I had a bit of a hard time with this one because I don't know that I have a favorite genre. Especially this year, I have been really trying my best to branch out and read from multiple different genres, and the one that I'm thinking I've like gravitated to the most is contemporary. Anything that's contemporary. I think I've read more contemporary books this year than anything else, so we're gonna go with that, and I'm going to use The No-Show by Beth O'Leary for favorite genre. This is romance, but it's contemporary romance, so we're going with it. I am currently listening to this one on audio. I just started it today, so yes, we're gonna put this one on and count it towards favorite genre. This one is also going to work for the last letter of the previous title, goes with the first letter of the next title, and we're going to do The No-Show followed up by We Were Liars. So the W goes with the W, you know, there you go. So yes, that's going to work for two prompts as well. Hooray. Okay, the next square is political fantasy. I already mentioned Smoke and Iron by Rachel Caine will be my pick for that. I do not read a lot of political fantasy. It's not really my thing, but I do really like the Great Library series, and it's definitely political. So going with that one. The next one is different format. For that, I am going to, again, choose whatever graphic novel wins the poll. So that graphic novel will count towards different format and my poll pick. You know, there you go. Okay, next up, one-word title. We're going to go with Easy by Tammara Weber, or Tammara Weber, which is on my June Wheel of TBR. So, you know, we're doubling that up. The reason I put that one on for one-word title is that Easy will also count for indie or self-published. And again, two birds, one stone. The next square is continuous series. Smoke and Iron covers that. And then the next one again is that last letter, first letter. We just talked about that. The No-Show, We Were Liars. Indie self-published was the next square. Easy is going to count for that. The poll pick will be whatever graphic novel wins that poll. Again, editing me will put the winner right here for you, but there you go. All right, less read genre, I am going with sci-fi. So this will either work for a psalm for the Wild Bill, which is sci-fi, or since I spun sci-fi on my wheel, ooh, that's hard to say, it could also be for Darkness Shows the Stars. So whichever one of those, that'll work for less read genre. Okay, we're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. The next one is Water on the Cover. Again, we are using We Were Liars because there's your water. And then the last one is a 2021 release. And again, for that, we are using A Psalm for the Wild Built. A Psalm for the Wild Built also works as host fave. That's the whole reason why I am reading it. It is one of Maddie's favorites. So you have to have a host fave, but that's why this book is on my TBR, because it's a host fave. It's short and it works for a bunch of different prompts. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have even crossed my radar because, again, I don't read sci-fi. So what can you do? Okay, so that is my TBR for June, and y'all, it's a big one. It's a big one. Okay, there is one more book that I have not managed to fit on this TBR, although it would work for a couple of the prompts. So it would work for a book that has an article in the title because it has the word the, and then it would also work for a favorite genre since I'm going with contemporary, and that is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is my pick for the buzzword challenge for June. The prompt is to have the word all in the title, so there you go. But yeah, this one I have not actually fit on there, but I could possibly do that. We'll see. We'll see. This TBR is looking a little scary, y'all, not gonna lie. So these are the books that I own physical copies of that on this TBR, but I also have all of those other ones as well. So let me just run through all of the books. Like, we'll just do a quick rundown. Here we go. So first up, we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. Second, Smoke and Iron by Rachel Caine. Third, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. 4, Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour. 5, Paranormalcy by Kiersten White. 6, The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. 7, Easy by Tammara or Tammara Weber. Someone tell me how to say her name down below if you would, please. But there you go, number 7. 8, A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. 9 is going to be Whatever Graphic Novel Wins My Poll. 10 is going to be To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. And number 11 is Hide by Kiersten White. Ooh, okay. Not to mention the other 3 books that I'd said I wanted to read this month as well. Can I do it? I don't know. This is 12, 13, 14 books. It's gonna be an interesting month. Thankfully, I do tend to read a lot when I'm traveling, so I'm gonna try to get several of these books as ebooks because I can take them on my Kindle when I travel, but yeah, we're gonna just see how this works out for me. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I know this was long and rambly. Apologies for that. If you enjoyed it nonetheless, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.